Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that a lot of people are experiencing when manifesting, and that is that you put in the work and it doesn't work. So you do your affirmations or your other techniques and it simply doesn't work, or it makes you feel worse. I know that a lot of you guys are experiencing this because I have seen your comments, but I also have a lot of experience with this from my coaching clients. And in this video, I want to share a specific example from a client that I am currently working with who is manifesting money. So the example is going to be about money, but can be applied to any other manifestation. And this example is so precise and so specific, more than precise, that it's going to help you realize whether or not you're doing this. Now, there can be different reasons why something happens. So also for this, there can be different reasons why your techniques or methods aren't working. But this one is one of the most common ones. So you may be doing it, but you're the one who is going to know whether you're doing it or not. So let me know in the comments if you want to share that. If you want a more personalized help with your specific manifestations, you can book a coaching session with me from the link in the description box below. I would be happy to help you with whatever you're manifesting. Also check out my courses. The links are in the description box below. And let's talk about this phenomenon where you do the work and it doesn't work. Why is that? So let me just share the experience of my client, and you will see what I mean, and I will elaborate on it. So she is manifesting money, and we have been working together for a bit. This wasn't the first session, so I know her story, I know what she's struggling with, and we're working with changing her story around money. And also self-concept. I almost always work with self-concept with the client alongside their specific desire. And in this particular session, she came to me almost in panic because she had a specific situation where she experienced lack of money and no perspective of getting more money based on her 3D experience. Now we know that the 3D circumstances don't matter, etc. But while you're in it, it can be quite scary. And I want to validate that for you. So if you're going through a 3D circumstance that is scary and it's just making you feel bad, you're not failing, you're not doing things wrong. We're all learning and we're all getting better at what we are doing. So I just want to say, don't give up. You're not failing, and your feelings about it are valid. And this client was going through something that was really scaring her. So something had happened, basically. And I said to her, by the way, something had happened that was just the continuation of her old story. It wasn't something new. It was just the same old. And of course, an experience is going to continue for as long as the assumption is there. And that is actually as bad as it may sound, that is a wonderful thing, because as soon as you change your assumptions, the experience has to change also. But while you're in it, it's not that easy to think that way, maybe for people, especially when you are not this is very experienced with this. And that's where I come in. So she came to me with almost in panic, and I asked her, what do you do when you're in panic? Have you try to actually apply your affirmations while you feel that you're feeling horrible. And she said, yes, I tried affirming. It just made it worse. So when you are experiencing full lack of money and then you start affirming, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I feel abundant, money is coming in, I'm making a lot of money, etc. Whatever you're manifesting, whatever you're affirming. By the way, this is not a rule that it won't help. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it's very helpful, and it depends on your state. It depends even on your personality. So for some people, this is really helpful. It shifts focus. But for others, it just makes it worse. So I said, okay, if affirming that you are abundant, I am abundant, and I am making the money while feeling like isn't helping you, let's take a step back. And instead of affirming I am, you affirm what if. And by the way, I have made a video about this, and a lot of people find it very helpful, but not this client. And this is why everyone is so different, and this is why everyone has to find the method that works for them. So I said, let's try this in this moment. Right now, you sit back and you affirm, what if I had the money? What would happen if I had the money? And you just sit with it. You repeat it, you start imagining, what if you had the money? She did that for a moment and she said, no, I'm panicking right now. I feel horrible. This isn't working. So I said, okay, walk me through it. What's happening? Walk me through it. The process that was happening in her mind was this. And this is the common part that so many people are experiencing. She says, I'm panicking. Then I go to affirmations, affirm something. I am abundant, or what if I was abundant? What happens next is my mind brings up the fact that no, you're not. This isn't working. You're not abundant. You are in this horrible problem, in this situation where you have no money. You don't know where money is going to come from, etc. And you panic. Now, this in reality doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't working. This means that your body is going to calibrate and make you feel the same way as where your focus is. So in reality, you shifted your focus a little bit on your affirmations and your mind brought you back to your old story, which is normal. It's not because you're failing, but that's how your mind works. That's what your mind does. It's normal. Because your mind is going to continuously bring you back to the story that it's used to. Not because that's the universal truth, that you're never going to make money, or that you simply don't have money. That's not a universal truth. That's just your habitual thinking. Yes, you have had the experience, and that even can make it worse in this case, that you've never been good with money, you've never experienced abundance, etc., etc. Your job here is, your work simply is not done. It's not that you failed, it didn't work. You're just not done. So what you do here is recognize that you are in negative mode, maybe in panic mode, and you can simply just realize what you're doing and shift, but you can also stay there a little bit to, this is what I would suggest. You realize that you're worrying, you're panicking, you're just in negative mindset and state. So you do this, you tell yourself, okay, I am worried, I'm panicking. This is my negative story. I recognize this negative story. I know that I have this story. I know that I believe this, and I also know that it feels very true. But that's only because I'm used to it. This is what I call go technical. Just be technical. Simply do the technical work. Nothing is required of you at this moment, except you doing the work. So I don't want you to try feel joy, happiness, etc. You're simply stating facts in this process. So this negative story feels true only because I'm used to it. Only because I have believed this and experienced this for so long that this feels like my reality. In reality, I have the power to change my beliefs and through repetition habituate my mind to a different story. What is that different story that I want to habituate my mind to? That's your affirmations. Okay, so then you go to your affirmations and you start affirming it. And something that is very helpful here is to do that without the pressure of having to manifest it. And I know we all do this to manifest it in our physical reality, but take the pressure off of you for that moment, just for a moment while you're doing this, while you're calming yourself down. So you start focusing on your affirmations as a training program. For a while, for a bit, for a short amount of time, for a few days, for however long, until your mind starts getting used to it and it won't resist it so horribly as before. So that's simply what you do. So when you do a technique, whether it's visualization, affirmations, whatever you are implementing, applying, implementing, whatever technique you're applying, and it makes you panic or it makes you just worry and go to the negative, and the negative story is so convincing. It is convincing simply because you're so used to it. Not because it's the truth, but because you're so used to it. You just need to understand how the mind works. Your mind is going to bring you to the place that it's just used to. So when you panic and you worry and you're all like, oh, this isn't working, this is horrible, this isn't working, I need to do something in the 3D to fix it, etc. Your job is simply not done. You're halfway. You need to understand that this is just my mind doing what it does, and I need to just be more stubborn and, do what my job is, to shift focus. It's all about where your focus is. So when you're panicking, and sometimes you're in a panic mode that you don't even know what's going on in your mind, but when you are in a horrible state of being, your focus is not on your desired outcome, because that doesn't feel bad. No one is consciously manifesting something that feels bad. So that's how you know where your mind is. And if you are having really heavy emotions, heavy negative emotions, and you want to work with that, I recommend checking out my course, Release Negative Emotions. The link is in the description box below. This course specifically works with emotions, not with the thoughts. So it's nothing like what I explained in this video. But this is the process that you can do too. I simply want to say that it's not because your technique is not working or you're doing it wrong. It's just that you're stopping the process as soon as your mind goes to the negative. You need to be a little patient with yourself and understand that you need to habituate yourself and your mind to something new. What happens when you do this process again and again, consistently, is that your mind at some point just gets used to this new story that you are abundant, that you are making the money, that the money is coming in, that you are safe. Actually, you have some financial freedom or complete financial freedom, whatever you're manifesting. And you will notice that with a little bit of consistency, well, a lot of consistency is better, to be honest, but without pressure, without too something happened with the video. When you just simply repeatedly habituate your mind to your new story, your mind is going to take that as truth. Your mind only knows what you're telling it. So whether you're focusing on the old a lot or whether you're focusing on your new beautiful affirmations a lot, eventually that's what your mind is going to accept as true. And once it starts accepting and getting used to it, you will notice that this negative story and the feelings that come with it will fade away and you start changing. That's the first step in manifestation. That's the first change that needs to happen. It's in your mind. And then once that starts happening, you will start seeing movement in the 3D, manifestation coming in. You simply need to stay consistent with your story. And this is one way to stay consistent with this story. So if you're in a situation where you're affirming or imagining doing techniques that don't work, this may be the reason that you simply let your mind shift focus to the old. And of course you can't stay there because your mind is just going to manifest whichever thing you put your focus on. So try this. I really hope that you give this a try because it's very helpful. And if you want to work on your negative emotions specifically, check out my course below. If you have questions about my courses, by the way, feel free to ask me questions in the comments. I will be happy to clarify anything for you. And if you need a personalized help and guidance with your specific manifestations, you can book a coaching session with me from the link in the description box below. Again, I will be happy to help you. And have a beautiful day and see you in the next video.